All right, welcome back, everyone. You're looking live at Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, and I have my co-host, my dad, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
And we are back with another one. We know it's been a while, and we are excited to get back on and kind of catch up and see what's been going on and catch all of you all up with what we've been discussing and what we've been doing for the last few weeks. And yeah, it's been a while, so we're excited to get back and got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. So you want to say what's up to the people and kind of let them know what's been going on and kind of where we've been at and what we've been doing.
What's up to the people? Glad to be back. Been really on the dark side of the moon for a few days, and just came back out from that, and so glad to be back in the fold and get back to talking Cowboys. So excited to be back on. So ready to chop it up.
Yeah. So we got a lot to cover, and it's been a minute since we talked. I don't even know what the last thing we talked about was, but we got a lot of things to cover. Trayvon had season-ending surgery. We lost our what can I call them? We lost the bright spot of our season. Overshown. Looks like the MCL, PCL, ACL thing is not as bad as it initially looked. So it's like he's going to be able to get all of the surgeries and he's going to be able to heal fine. We lost Josh Butler, who was budding as a good-looking corner that we just got out of nowhere. Who else? We've lost a lot of pieces on defense, and even with all of those losses, our defense is still playing top tier with Zim coaching. In my opinion, he's out coaching McCarthy. I know that's your opinion as well. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about, man. I mean, Stephen Jones has came on and he's made some comments, just outrageous comments. So we got a lot to talk about. So what did you want to jump on first?
So I was going to talk about Trayvon Diggs' injury. So there's some speculation that he's going to have to get microfracture surgery. So just so happens I had that exact same surgery in 2021. So I had a lot of knee pain, and what I had, it was bone on bone. I had no cartilage behind my knee. Of course, I also had another issue going on with it. So I had the meniscus tear. But so with the microfracture surgery, they drill holes into your kneecap, which causes blood to clot, and it naturally regrows your cartilage. And so it's a surgery that's pretty effective. Now, sometimes you'll see that it doesn't really address the issue 100%. It doesn't regrow all the cartilage. So it's kind of, you've had a lot of players that have had the surgery. I know Anthony Spencer had it back in the day. When he came back, he was kind of not the same. He played okay, but when you play in corner, you play another position, it might be a little different. For me, it took me one whole year to recover, and after that year was over, my knee is great. So hopefully Trey can, if that's what he needs, he just gets it done and then starts the rehab process. But it's a tough surgery. It's a different one from the ACL, but hopefully he can kind of get that going. And then some of the other guys, Josh Butler, sorry that happened with him. Hopefully he can rehab. So we'll just kind of see. But to your point about Zim, Zim, he's really showing that he's a good coordinator, and his players are doing really well with the scheme. So don't know if that means he's going to be here next year. We have to just kind of wait and see what's going to happen there.
So what is your opinion about how Trayvon decided to go ahead and have the surgery, shut it down early? That was really his decision. And what do you think about that?
Well, again, it made sense because when I had the injury, that's basically what I had to do. It just became where I really couldn't function. It just that pain was just constant. It feels like the way I described it, it's bone on bone. It feels like you got a crack in your knee. That's what it feels like a hairline fracture.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure that with that cartilage breaking loose, it started to just be so painful. He just said, forget it. I'm out of here. You can't really play like that. So it's not anything there to cushion that blow on your knee when it's just kind of coming together. So him shutting it down, I'm surprised that he played with it as long as he did, because it's very painful.
Yeah. And so that's with that on Trayvon. Now, the defense came along this year. We easily could be right in the hunt of things if we would have won maybe one or two more games. If we wouldn't have had that blunder that we had last week against the Bengals, we'd be in the hunt right now. And it really would be realistic that we would make the playoffs. We actually would control our own destiny, believe it or not. If we would have went out, that'll probably put us in a position to get that wild card spot over the Redskins and over the NFC South teams. So, because we got to play the NFC South this coming up week, and we got to play the Eagles in Washington. So winning out would have probably done the trick.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the ball didn't bounce our way on that, and this season is over. It was really over from the jump, honestly. And that's been my narrative for a while now. I'm even saying that with Stephen Jones, the most recent comment, I'm looking at them. Basically, to me, that's forfeiting the 2025 season as well. That's how I'm looking at it. If they go through with what they're saying, and if we have another offseason and another year where he signs Micah a day before the season, or a couple of days before the season, and then all of the free agents are gone, and you draft and you're not active in free agency filling holes, because this team has so many holes that you're not going to be able to just draft. They're going to have to use free agency. And if you're going to be good, I don't want Stephen Jones to think that, we can get active in free agency, but he's only signing Linval Joseph and these 1 year turnaround players that sit at home on the couch and then thinking that he's getting active in free agency. That's not going to cut it. We need big time free agents, or if not big time free agents, we need good players. We need talent on our team, talent that we need players that other teams want. We always get these players that nobody wants, and they're just sitting at home and nobody wants them. That's the type of return that we get. That's what we do. And also, we have a lot of people that's expiring too. There are a lot of contracts that's expiring. And so I want to see how are they going to just let the bottom fall out like they did last year? Are y'all going to let the bottom fall out and just let us just sink like they did last year? Because that's what he's alluding to. And also, I wanted to hear your comment about, I wanted to share with Cowboys Nation something I've been saying for a while now. And it's just coming to fruition. And you can look at it. See, I got the stats on this, okay, and I don't want to hear anyone say that, it's if you make it to the NFC Championship and championship this and championship that. I think it's the front office that is the reason for the debacle of these seasons for 28 years, 29 years of running. I mean, I think if you were to give Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, if you were to give them all the Cowboys front office and the way that the Cowboys team build, they wouldn't have no more playoff wins than they have right now. And with that, you can say Lamar Jackson only has 2 playoff wins, and Jalen Hurts only has 2 playoff wins. So it's a ton of quarterbacks that only have a few playoff wins. It's the ones that have a lot of playoff wins. They're on good teams with good front offices, with good coaches, like Patrick Mahomes, okay, like Josh Allen and Joe Brady, okay. They have the Bengals, Joe Burrow. He's a generational talent. He has a good offensive coach. He has a good scheme. They run the Linehan. I mean, they run. I mean, they run the what's the name? Shanahan scheme. He also has a CD Lamb and Jamar Chase. So, these quarterbacks, it really depends on your situation. It doesn't just depend on quarterback play. It really just depends on your situation, because if you were to give Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson and everybody else, Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Kellen Moore, if you were to give them these pieces for half of their career, most of their career, like Dak, and then also on top of that, when I say Stephen and Jerry Jones and Will Mclay, what I mean is you give them those people so that way you draft Mozzie, you draft Schoon, you dismiss Coop and you sign Gallup. You pay Terrence Steele, those type of things. You let Tony Pollard walk. You don't get Derrick Henry. Okay, you don't utilize free agency. Okay, you have a 1995 scheme and Mike McCarthy. Now, if you was to couple all of those things. Oh, also, by the way, you have Dan Quinn, who in the playoffs doesn't change the scheme or can't stop the run the whole time he's here. You don't have Spagnuolo. You have Dan Quinn, who has never been able to stop the run since he's been in the NFL, apparently. So you have those things, and then you see where Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow ends up. They're not going to be the same championship caliber team that they are, because it's not just a quarterback sport. It takes a lot, just like right now, we need a new offensive coordinator to come in here. That offensive coordinator is going to have to be awesome for Dak to succeed, because he's not as mobile as he used to be. But it's not like that's hard to do, because we see it all over the NFL. We watched it last night. We watch it all the time. Players running wide open. Joe Brady, all these other Ben Johnson, their scheme helps their quarterback, and that's how they win games. It's not like that here. So, I know I said a lot, but go ahead. I digress.
No, you good. You good. And so I was going to just piggyback. I think if Dak had not gotten hurt, I have no doubt that we would probably get that. We would get that either 6 or 7 seed. It's just no question. I really think that Dak staying healthy, the offense would have gotten better. The defense would have came around, and some of these games, that we lost. I don't know if we lose to Atlanta. Just to give an example. And these games coming up, Tampa, Philly, and Washington, they're going to be tough games with Cooper Rush. The games are going to be close. I can tell you right now, Philly is not going to blow us out. Washington is not going to blow us out. Tampa, definitely not. So, yeah, if Dak had stayed healthy, we'd be right in the mix. So, what I've been talking about, you and I just been having a discussion the last few days, is I think what's going to happen is, because Stephen Jones has been outed by legacy media, ESPN, now some of the new media people are talking about Stephen. I think it's going to be kind of hard for him to come in with his same song and dance about the cap, about what they can and can't do. So he's going to, the spotlight is on him. He's going to get, I told you earlier, it's going to be like a blowtorch just flaming on him for the next few months. And I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand the heat he's going to get. So that may just mean for Cowboy fans that they, may do some things different, because they have so many holes. And some of these players that are leaving, he's going to have no choice but to do something with free agency. They're going to have way too many players to replace.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't see it. So I think that what he's saying, I just don't see it. I don't think that he's actually going to be able to have a repeat of last year. I just don't think so. I mean, how can you? If you have a repeat of last year, you're going to have an incomplete team.
Yeah.
So
you got to have I don't know how many players are on the roster now, but
54.
They're going to lose. they're gonna lose so many players. And shout out to Star. I was chatting with Star earlier, and she talked about Rico. She was commenting that even though Rico has played well, she still feels like we should draft a running back. And my response to her was, the way they handled Rico, they basically benched him when he was healthy and he was ready to play. So him and his agent, they're not going to forget that. So I don't think the Cowboys, honestly, are going to be able to afford Rico. He's not going to give them a family deal because of the way he was treated. So they're going to have to draft a running back. They're probably going to have to draft more than one. And the same with free agency. So I think some of these things that we're talking about, they're just going to organically force Steven to change because he's not going to have a choice.
And also with Rico too, I want to let Star know, and I hate to bring it up like this, and I hate to say it, but we do have to look at this thing from a realistic lens, and we have to let it be known that the games that he's doing these are the bottom of the barrel defenses. The Bengals have a historically bad defense. I mean, like it's historically bad. It's one of the worst defenses ever. So and also the team that we just played. Who did we just play? They have a bad defense as well. So it's not like he's just, also, to Rico's credit, all of those things that you said is absolutely true. They absolutely created a fake narrative that he was sick and benched him for Zeke after Zeke came out and made those comments in the media. And then also after, if you look at the stats, the
Pittsburgh game, he played great and they didn't play him the following week.
Right, because if you look at his first 5 or 6 games, it's like 30 yards, 30 yards, 30 yards. Then he had the 100 against Pittsburgh, and then right after that, he got benched again. I mean, he literally had his best game of the season and the best game of a season for a running back, and in the next game, he actually got like 2 carries.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes no sense whatsoever.
So his agent is not going. They're not going to forget that. And so I think, what Star was referring to, there are a lot of Cowboy fans that are, and Brian Broaddus talked about this too. Shout out to Broaddus. He's basically saying we don't need to overreact to what's been happening in these games. A lot of Cowboy fans are, saying that Rico should be brought back. Some are saying he should be the number 1 back. I guess the whole point is he should have been playing much sooner. We talked about the season and how it went. We could have, that absolutely would have helped Dak if he had been playing earlier in the season. And so, McCarthy, you got to look at what the front office did. Were they involved? But they just made a decision that they were not gonna play him. So a lot of things happened that really had an impact on our season, and it came from probably the front office and a little bit of McCarthy.
You actually have a team, guys, that actually have an NFL franchise that came out and their starting running backs on this particular game was Deuce Vaughn and Kevontae Turpin.
That was Baltimore. The first 2 series, it was Deuce and Turpin against one of the most physical teams in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens.
They actually did that. And then also, you actually have an owner, a GM, comparing Ezekiel Elliott to Derrick Henry. He actually compared them. So that's what you're dealing with. I mean, when you think about what I just said, that is silly that someone would actually think that and actually do that and compare those 2 players at this point in their careers. It's really mind blowing, and it's really like a slap in the face to the fans, honestly.
And I do want to say this. My thing is, with the NFL, every game is a challenge. So I would say that I think our offensive line has gotten better. I think, you play who you play, but I just believe that they've kind of gelled a little bit and just playing Rico. I think you're going to continue to see it. So what I think we're going to see, next week against Tampa, I think the offensive line is going to, do some good things, and Rico will. So I think the opponent, even though we played some teams that were not winning and probably not good against the run, you got to give our offensive line a little credit because, Brock Hoffman, he's balling. He played guard for Martin. That just it was a huge difference in the way he played. Then he came in yesterday and played center, and he balled.
And even our screen was working. I hate when they run screens, but they were working. And the reason why they were working is because of those two linemen. And because of those linemen are able to get out there and move around and block.
So who played right guard yesterday? Because Hoffman was at center. I don't think I noticed. We got to check that out.
Either. Yeah, we got to check that out.
Steele is also playing better.
Is it TJ Bass?
It might have been. And Steele is playing better. So these guys that are coming in, it seems like, you know, we've given Solari a hard time, but give him credit. You know, the line, just like Zim with the defense, we see some things that are improving defensively with Zim, the scheme, where they playing. Offensive line is playing better. That's why I say, if Dak had stayed healthy, we would be competitive. It's just no doubt.
I mean, even look at it like this too. Even Schoon and Mozzie have played better. And they haven't just.
Didn't see Schoon. Did Schoon have a catch yesterday?
I think he might have had one.
I didn't notice Schoon at all. They didn't. Ferg. Surprisingly, there were some people that were down on Ferg, which I wasn't understanding. But one of the reasons we didn't see Schoon yesterday is Ferg had a good game. You know, Ferg. CD, Cavante continue to show up, and again, why did it take so long to get Cavante Turpin involved? We saw something yesterday we've never seen before. So, you know, McCarthy.
They're lining up in Texas and they line up in pistol formations that we ain't seen in this week 15 or whatever it is. That's just like McCarthy.
Yeah. So it's still a lot of content creators. Vach, you know, Will still highly respected. Shout out to them. You got content creators. They're just done with McCarthy. They just don't want him to come back.
Mr. I tell you what, I'm done. I'm one of them.
Then you got some other people that, you know, they kind of fall in the middle. So that's the great thing about the content creators. You know, we can all just have our own different opinion. We can have, you know, strong opinions. We can kind of agree with each other. That's the name of the game. So I could hear that. That's why we're not gonna be out here long. It's storming in Dallas. Are you still there? But yeah, so it's interesting that you know, that's why I said, Steven, you can run, but you can't hide because there's so many different platforms that are just looking at what Dallas is doing. And we're gonna do a show on this salary cap thing because Mike Fisher, Will Steele, Jeff Kavanaugh, shout out to them. They are all over this thing. My guy that I follow, Outlaw Cowboy, you could hire any one of these guys to come in tomorrow and they could fix the Cowboys cap. Not only for next season, it would be that way years going forward.
To 2029.
Yeah.
The salary cap is a myth. Well, every team has a salary cap. Every quarterback takes up 30% of the salary cap. Every salary cap goes up every year. And no matter what, you can sign anyone at any time and you can restructure contracts year round. It can be done. The Cowboys are the only team that doesn't do it the proper way. It's just like Stephen Jones will tell us that Jerry Jones told us that they could not afford Derrick Henry, when the reason why he is saying that is because they had not signed Dak Prescott until it was too late. When they signed Dak Prescott and they signed CeeDee Lamb, they immediately got $23 million in cap space, and that was way more than enough to sign Derrick Henry and two more players. So they just flat out did not tell the truth when we can see and we can do it. This is public information. You can go to Spotrac.com. You can go to overthecap.com. This is public information. You can look at every team's salary cap structure. You can look at every player's contract, and you can do the math yourself. It doesn't take a genius. Me, you, Jeffrey Kavanaugh, Boss, Law Nation, Mark Holmes. We can the big time. We can all do the salary cap.
Yeah, and the 49ers, they signed Bosa. They turn right around and sign the running back McCaffrey. They get ready to turn around and sign Purdy. They're going to sign Purdy, and what they're going to do, they're going to have a great draft. in the offseason, they're going to sign free agents, and they're going to be right back in it. And that's exactly what the Eagles are going to do. That's what the Chiefs are going to do. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again, they're going to come right back. They're going to sign whoever they got to sign. They're going to draft, and they're going to sign free agents. So the myth is the way Stephen Jones puts this information out there. But again, it's everything is coming to the light on that. He is going to be in a situation where he can't do that anymore.
Please, everyone that thinks, and I don't know why people think this, everyone that thinks that they can't sign players because Dak takes up 30% of the cap or Dak has a big contract, please go study and just Google how the salary cap works. That's absolutely false information. That is not correct whatsoever. Dak's contract has nothing to do with them signing Micah at all.
Just follow other teams. The other teams that we are competing against, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Ravens, the Packers, they are signing Michael Parsons and Dak, and they're just going on with the business. So we'll spend a lot of time in the offseason talking about that.
I was trying to explain somebody the reason why it was important to get Dak's deal done before the day that they did, and how his salary is guaranteed for the next year on the fourth day. I mean, that is just
tell your person to follow Jeff Kavanaugh, follow Will Steele, follow Vach, Outlaw Cowboy. It's not that hard to see the information. It's Mike Fisher is the OG on the cap. Mike Fisher has been saying this for 5-10 years.
And he's the one that I coined with the phrase, the salary cap is a myth. He started that for me. And let me tell you all something. There's a path to $100 million right now. You already got like 23 and 36 saved on Dak and CD right now to this day. You can cut Terrence Steele if you want to. You can get 15. You can restructure Trayvon Diggs. You'll get 6. You can cut both of the safeties because you have their replacements in Wanye and Bell. You're going to save about 6 there. Right there, that alone is 100.
Well, and you're going to save money also when by signing Micah early, if you do it the right way.
If you do it the right way, I've already did it. I've done it like 4 or 5 times. The most I was able to save was $15 million.
Yeah. So again,
and I gave him $200 million plus on my examples.
So the Cowboys is going to be a watershed moment, and I say the Cowboys, it's Stephen Jones. In this offseason, it's all gonna go down. It's all finna, it's finna hit the fan, as they say, because he's not going to be able to just tell the Cowboy fandom that it's only so much part of the pie. Our resources are limited. So the great thing about this is we're gonna have a front row seat to how it all goes down. We're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about how you can rebuild this team. And someone said it today, I don't know who to give credit to. It was one of the people I've been talking about here. They said you can rebuild this team in one offseason. You can absolutely do it.
In one
offseason. Just a great draft, sign some free agents, get some guys on your team signed, and you'll be competitive. You'll be right back in the mix with everybody else. And
me and you can do it. Me and you can do it right now today.
Yeah. So and they have put themselves behind the 8 ball because of the way they've handled it up to this point. So it's going to take some work, and that's kind of where we are. So we're gonna go ahead.
We're gonna wrap it up, but we'll wrap it up. But my thing is this: and not only could you do it in one off season, but here's the thing. We were listening to all of the content creators, and we were listening to the OGs. We were listening to Mike Fisher. We were listening to I'll put Jeff Kavanaugh in the OG spot, for me at least. We were listening to Mike Fisher. We were listening to Jeff. We were listening to Brian Broaddus. We were listening to all of these guys. We were listening to Boss. We were listening to Law, Mark Holmes. Everyone knew how to go forward with Dak and CD's contracts. Everyone knew how to go forward in the draft. Everyone knew what players that we needed to retain and the players that we needed to walk in free agency. The Cowboys knew, and they decided to do what they did and ignore the right thing to do. they decided to do that. Just like right now, we're telling you that it would be absolutely criminal for them to sign Micah late. They could have signed him last year. Okay. It would be absolutely criminal for them to sign him late. And I'm telling you, they know this, and there's a possibility that they still might do it.
So let's wrap with this. Let's wrap. So I'm gonna say one last thing. We've been hearing people, content creators, saying that Stephen Jones is lying about the cap. Yeah. Understand. He's not lying. Understand. Stephen Jones is just doing what he believes is the best way to run a team and what he wants to do. He's not lying. He's just doing what he thinks is a good thing to do. He just believes this is the way to run a team. He believes in his method. So he's going to tell you what he believes. He's not lying. The problem is the way he's doing this, it's been proven to be it's not working. And he's got 29 years of proof.
And he's getting further and further and further away from winning, but too. It's not like he's getting close. He's getting further and further and further away.
But he's consistent. He actually believes that you do not need to participate in free agency. He believes you can pay these players at the very last minute. Okay, that's what he believes. He's not lying. So you want to go ahead and wrap? We're gonna what you gonna take us out on? We'll come back and do a couple of other shows this week. It's good to be back. Please like and share our content. We're still trying to grow our space, and appreciate you guys for hanging with us as we kind of come back and get in a groove of doing shows.
Yeah, and then we can give, and then I want to give everybody details of what was actually going on, so we can do that next show, and we can let you all know what was going on. It's really not it was really a crazy experience, to be honest. But you know what I'm saying? We that'll give you all something to look forward to. It was a crazy experience, and you'll understand why we didn't really want to come on and broadcast, because it was literally like we couldn't. It was really like, we couldn't. It was more important things to do. And but it gave us time to really, really think about the future going forward, and really come up with some good marketing and some good topics to talk about, and in the future. It gave us a lot of time to brainstorm. So we kind of needed that break. We did cross over 100 subscribers, and we got up to like 115, and we hit a lot of milestones. So it was kind of like an intermission, and we needed it a little bit. And so now that we're back, and so when we come back, we'll catch y'all up and let y'all know what was happening. And, so who knows, someone might have went through the same thing, or might be going through the same thing, or going to go through the same thing at some point. And so it'll be kind of cool for you all to hear our perspective on it. So we'll share that with you all on the next one. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and follow our YouTube channel. I mean, not our YouTube channel. Follow our YouTube channel. Hit like, subscribe, and follow it. Make sure you follow it. We got a lot of views, and we don't have that many followers. We have videos that have 300 views, and we only have 115 followers. So make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you following the channel. Make sure you following our Facebook page, which is the same title as the channel. And make sure you like all of our like all of our posts on our Facebook page, and we're going to eventually have TikToks. I'm working on that right now. I'm breaking all these videos down and just going to throw them on TikTok, and we'll be going live on TikTok and Facebook as well.